The storm outside raged on, but inside Maya's apartment, it felt like the world had completely stopped. She stared at the screen of her laptop, unable to look away from the final frame. The words, "She is still inside," glowed ominously. Her breath was shallow, her hands shaking. Behind her, the woman, her supposed sister, was standing silently, her eyes fixed on Maya with a knowing expression. "You remember, don't you?" the woman said softly. Maya shook her head, desperately trying to deny it. "No, this isn't real. You're not real. You died." The woman tilted her head, her lips curling into a faint smile. "I didn't die, Maya. You just made yourself believe I did." Maya's mind raced. This couldn't be happening. She had spent 12 years thinking her sister was gone. How could she still be alive? She glanced around the room, her eyes flickering between Daniel and the older man. They had been watching her carefully, but there was no sympathy in their expressions. Just cold truth. Daniel stepped forward, his voice calm but firm. "Maya, the truth is coming back, whether you accept it or not." Her heart hammered in her chest. She turned back to the laptop, her hands still trembling as she clicked the next video file. This time, a new clip played. The screen showed an image of her childhood home, but it wasn't the house she remembered. It was older, darker, more decayed, and standing in front of it was the woman again, her sister. She was smiling, but it wasn't the same smile Maya remembered. There was something cold in it now. "What happened to you?" Maya whispered. The woman's voice came through the speakers, chilling and clear. "You don't remember, do you? You locked me inside that house, Maya. You left me there, and you told yourself you didn't." Maya recoiled. "No, no, no," she muttered to herself. "I didn't." But the video continued. It showed the woman walking through the door of the old house, the one Maya had thought was abandoned. She stepped inside, slowly, methodically, like she had been waiting for this moment for years. The screen flickered. Static filled the audio. Then the image froze. A message appeared. "You never looked back." The woman's voice came through once again. "You knew what you left behind, but you convinced yourself that I was gone." Maya's heart sank. The pieces were coming together, but it wasn't what she wanted to hear. She didn't want to know this. "No," she whispered again, barely audible. "I didn't do that. I couldn't have." But the woman spoke one final time, her voice like ice. "Yes, you did." The screen flickered one last time, and the house in the video collapsed into dust. Maya felt her knees give way beneath her. She sank to the floor, struggling to breathe. The room felt too small now, too suffocating. Daniel crouched down beside her. His voice was quiet but full of authority. "This is where it ends, Maya." She looked up at him, her eyes filled with desperation. Tell me the truth. What happened that night?" He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stood up and walked to the window, staring out at the rain. The older man, standing by the door, spoke next. "You didn't just leave her, Maya," he said coldly. "You locked her in, and then you forgot." Maya looked up at him, her eyes wide with disbelief. "What are you talking about?" The older man stepped into the room, closing the distance between them. "The house. The accident. It wasn't an accident, Maya. You did it on purpose." Maya gasped, shaking her head. No, I didn't. I didn't know. I couldn't." The older man's eyes were dark and hard. "You were scared, and you thought you could run away from it. You thought if you forgot, you'd be free." The room seemed to close in on her, her past, her memories. It was all unraveling before her eyes. "You can't escape what you did, Maya," Daniel said softly. Maya's mind spun. Her sister wasn't dead. She had locked her inside that house. And now, she was back. The woman's voice echoed once more, sending chills down Maya's spine. "It's time to face what you did." Maya couldn't breathe. The room was suffocating her. Her sister's words echoed in her mind. "You locked me in, and then you forgot." How could this be happening? How could she have blocked out such a huge part of her past? Daniel and the older man were still standing by the window, watching her every move. Maya glanced between them, then at the woman standing by the door. Her expression was unreadable, but there was something about her, the way she was staring at Maya, that sent a cold shiver down her spine. The woman spoke again. "You really don't remember, do you?" Maya stood up quickly, backing away from them. "No, stop, please, I didn't do this." Her voice trembled, but the woman's calm response didn't falter. "You did, Maya, you did." The room fell into an eerie silence as the woman stepped forward, slowly, until she was standing directly in front of Maya. Maya wanted to move, to run, but her legs wouldn't cooperate. "You think you've been running from the past," the woman continued, her voice now low and dangerous, "but the truth always catches up." The words burned into Maya's mind. Maya took a step back, shaking her head in disbelief. I didn't know. I couldn't have known." "You knew," the woman insisted. "You left me behind, and you locked the door." Maya's eyes darted toward the laptop, still open on the table, the video still playing. It was as if the screen was mocking her, showing the horrific truth she had buried deep inside. The screen flashed again. This time, it wasn't just the house. It was a memory. Maya watched herself from the video, sitting in the car after the crash, the rain falling heavily outside. She looked terrified, but something else lingered in her eyes. Guilt. Then the camera panned to the wreckage, her car, the broken glass, the twisted metal. And there, lying on the ground, a body. But not just anyone. Her sister. The woman who stood before her. Maya couldn't breathe. Her sister's body had been there, outside the car, left behind in the rain. Maya's body had been there too, but she hadn't remembered. She had forgotten. The woman's voice broke the silence. "You left me, Maya, and you told yourself I was dead." Maya stumbled back, her chest tightening. "I didn't know. I thought..." The woman's eyes flashed cold. "You didn't think. You made a choice." Daniel, who had been silent up until now, finally spoke. "Remember this, Maya. The mind can bury things, but the body never forgets." The words hit Maya like a blow to the chest. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded. "Why are you showing me this now?" The older man looked at her coldly. "Because you need to face the truth, Maya. And the truth has a price." Maya's vision blurred. She couldn't stop the dizziness sweeping over her. What had she done? The video continued. In the footage, Maya was now sitting on the wet ground, staring at the wreckage, her hands trembling. But this time, something was different. There was another figure in the distance, moving. A shadow. Maya's heart skipped a beat. "Who is that?" she asked, voice shaking. The woman spoke in a low tone, her voice almost too quiet to hear. "You don't remember them either, do you?" Maya's eyes widened. A figure in the distance. The video zoomed in on the shadow. It was blurry, but there was something familiar about it. Her heart raced. Then the screen froze, and a single line of text appeared. "You've always known." The door to the apartment suddenly slammed shut. Maya whirled around in panic, but no one had moved. The tension in the room grew thick. Daniel took a step forward, his face unreadable. "You need to remember who else was there that night." Maya's mind spun. Who else? She had been alone in the wreck, hadn't she? The woman's voice came again, this time almost a whisper. "You knew someone was with you, and they were the one who left first." Maya's head was spinning. She could barely process what was happening. "What are you saying?" she managed to ask. Daniel's voice was steady but full of warning. "You were never alone that night, Maya. Someone else was there, and they left before you did." The woman stepped closer. "And now, they're here." A cold gust of wind blew through the apartment, carrying the faintest whisper, "Get out." Maya could feel the blood draining from her face. The woman standing in front of her, the sister she thought had died, her voice echoed in her mind. Someone else was there that night. Maya turned sharply to Daniel. "Who else was there?" Daniel's expression was unreadable. "You need to remember, Maya. You have no idea what you're dealing with." Her heart raced. She couldn't breathe. "No, this doesn't make sense," Maya whispered, her voice barely a whisper. "I was alone. I was the only one there." The woman's cold smile faded slightly. "You weren't alone. You never were." Maya stepped back, shaking her head. No, you're lying." Daniel's voice cut through the air, low and steady. "This isn't about lying, Maya. It's about the truth that you buried." Her breath quickened. "I didn't bury anything. I don't remember." But the woman's eyes softened just a fraction. "Yes, you do." Maya looked between the three of them. Her head was spinning. What was happening? The fear clawed at her insides, gnawing away at her mind. You knew what happened that night, but you chose to forget. The tension in the room grew thicker with each word. It was like a suffocating weight pressing down on her chest. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't think. Then suddenly, the video on the laptop flashed once more. Maya's gaze snapped to it. The footage was grainy, but it was unmistakable. There, standing outside the wreckage, was a figure, barely visible in the shadows. The camera zoomed in, but it wasn't clear enough. The figure moved, and then the screen froze. A single line of text appeared. The one who left first. Maya's heart thudded in her chest. "Who was that?" she whispered, her voice breaking. The woman's expression grew darker. "The one who ran from the wreck, Maya. The one you never saw." Daniel stepped forward. "It's time for you to remember who left you behind." Maya's eyes flicked between them, confusion and panic rising. "I don't understand. I don't remember anyone else." The older man, who had been standing silently by the window, finally spoke. "The one who left, Maya. They were someone you trusted." The words hung in the air, like a bomb waiting to explode. Maya's hands shook as she clutched the edge of the table. Who? Who was it? The woman's eyes narrowed, her voice quiet but firm. You know who it was. Maya felt dizzy. Who? Her mind raced, but no names came to her. She couldn't make sense of it. Who left her? The thought consumed her, gnawing at her mind. And then, a sound. A faint rustling from the hallway outside the apartment door. Maya froze, her breath catching in her throat. The woman's eyes flicked to the door, then back to Maya. It's him, she whispered. Maya's eyes widened. Who? She managed to croak. Daniel turned sharply towards the door, his eyes hardening. The one who was there that night. The one who ran. The sound grew louder. Someone was coming. Maya's heart raced in panic as she realized she was no longer alone in the apartment. The door creaked slowly open. A shadow filled the doorway. The figure was tall, silhouetted against the dim light from the hallway. Maya could barely make out the outline, but she knew it was him. Her breath hitched. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Who is it? She whispered. The woman stepped closer, her voice chilling. It's the one who left you to die. Maya's mind spun, her legs nearly buckling beneath her. The room seemed to close in on her. This couldn't be happening. This wasn't real. Then, the door slammed open. A figure stepped forward. Maya's eyes widened. It was a man. He looked vaguely familiar, but she couldn't place him. His face was covered in shadow, but she could see the outline of his jaw and his dark eyes staring directly at her. He didn't say anything. He just stood there, watching. And then, Maya recognized him. Her heart stopped. It was her ex-boyfriend. The one who had disappeared after that night. The one she hadn't heard from in over a decade. The one she thought was dead. The man stepped further into the room, his eyes fixed on Maya with an unreadable expression. You remember me now, don't you? He said softly. Maya couldn't respond. She was frozen, staring at him. Her ex-boyfriend, the one who had run, the one who had left her behind. His next words were like a bomb. You left me for dead that night, Maya. Maya couldn't breathe. Her mind was spinning, her heart racing. The man in the doorway, her ex-boyfriend, the one she thought was gone forever, was standing right in front of her. You, she gasped, her voice barely audible. How are you here? He stepped forward, his expression unreadable. The dim light from the hallway made his features even harder to make out. I've been here, Maya, he said softly, his voice almost too calm. Right under your nose. Maya's eyes widened. She stumbled back, her legs unsteady. But I thought you died. I thought you were gone. After the crash. After... He cut her off, his tone growing colder. You thought I was dead, but you didn't look. You never looked. The room seemed to close in on her. Maya struggled to process the words. Everything she had been led to believe, everything she thought she knew about that night, it was all wrong.
The woman standing beside her, Maya's supposed sister, spoke again. "You didn't know the truth, Maya. You didn't want to. You made yourself believe what you wanted to believe. But it's time you face the reality." Maya turned to her sister, her mind spinning. "What are you talking about? What's happening here?" The ex-boyfriend stepped into the apartment fully, closing the door behind him with a soft click. The sound echoed like a gunshot in the silence of the room. "I'll tell you what happened that night," he said. "The truth." Maya shook her head in disbelief, trying to push through the fog in her mind. "No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to know." But he was already speaking, his voice steady and low, almost haunting. "I was there, Maya. I was the one who stayed behind. I saw everything. I was the one who tried to save you." Maya's knees buckled and she collapsed into the nearby chair. Her hands were shaking. You tried to save me?" He nodded slowly, his eyes never leaving hers. "Yes, but you weren't the one who needed saving." Maya's heart hammered in her chest. She could barely comprehend his words. "I don't understand. Who needed saving?" He took a deep breath. "You, Maya. You were the one who locked her inside. You were the one who walked away." Maya's mind reeled. Her vision blurred, and for a moment she thought she might faint. The past she had buried, the secrets she had hidden from herself, they were all coming back. "You're lying," she whispered, but it sounded like she was trying to convince herself. The ex-boyfriend's voice grew colder, harder. "I'm not lying. You locked the door, Maya. You left her to die. And then you forgot." Her mind screamed, but the truth was starting to slip through the cracks. She had left someone behind. The woman who had claimed to be her sister stepped forward, her face filled with dark satisfaction. "It wasn't just the crash, Maya. It was what happened after." Maya felt a cold sweat break out on her skin. "I didn't know." "You didn't want to know," the ex-boyfriend interrupted. "But you have to face it now. You are the reason she's dead." The weight of his words crushed her. Dead? Her heart stopped. "No, no!" Maya cried out, backing away from him. "No, she's not dead. She can't be." But the ex-boyfriend's voice was unrelenting. "She's dead, Maya. And you're the one who killed her." A flood of images hit her. The crash, the screams, the rain. The last thing she remembered was running out of the car, leaving everything behind. But now, it was all starting to make sense. The woman stepped closer, her voice now full of cold, chilling finality. "You left her behind to die. And now, she's back for you." The apartment door slammed open again, this time with such force that the walls shook. Maya looked up in shock. Another shadow stood in the doorway. Maya's pulse quickened. Who else was there? Her ex-boyfriend's eyes darkened.
They've always been watching Maya, waiting. The man in the doorway stepped forward, slowly, deliberately. He wasn't tall, but there was something about him, something unsettling in the way he moved. He didn't say anything at first, but Maya could feel his eyes on her, Maya, he finally said, his voice calm, but there was an edge to it. We need to finish this. Maya's heart skipped a beat. Finish this? The room seemed to grow colder. The ex-boyfriend turned slowly, his eyes never leaving Maya. You left her to die, he repeated, his voice barely above a whisper. And now, she's not the only one coming for you. Maya felt the weight of those words hit her like a hammer. The woman, the one she thought was dead. And now, there was another one, someone else who had been hiding in the shadows, waiting to finish what Maya had started. The man in the doorway smiled faintly, as if he had been waiting for this moment. You can't run anymore, Maya. The truth was here. But was it too late for Maya to escape what she had done? Maya's heart pounded violently in her chest as the man in the doorway stepped forward, his eyes fixed on her like a predator stalking its prey. You can't run anymore, Maya, he said softly, his voice calm but laced with something far more sinister. Maya's breath caught in her throat. How could he know everything? And more importantly, who was he? The woman, the one who had claimed to be her sister, stepped forward, her gaze fixed on the man in the doorway. You've been hiding in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. The man smirked, stepping fully into the apartment. His presence seemed to fill the room with darkness. You should know by now, Maya, he said, his voice dark, almost predatory. The past never stays buried. Maya stumbled back, her mind reeling. She couldn't make sense of it. Who were these people? Why were they here? Her ex-boyfriend stepped forward now, his expression unreadable. She's right. You can't outrun your past. Maya's eyes darted from him to the woman, then to the man in the doorway. It felt like she was drowning. All these people knew things she had buried, secrets she had pushed deep into the recesses of her mind. You've been trying to forget, haven't you? The woman said, her voice now softer, but no less chilling. But you can't, Maya. You can't just erase what you did. Maya felt a lump form in her throat, her chest tightening with a mixture of fear and guilt. She didn't know what to say. What could she say? I didn't mean to, she whispered, almost pleading. The man in the doorway took a step closer. It doesn't matter whether you meant to or not. What matters is what you did. The tension in the room grew thicker, the air heavy with unspoken truths. You locked her inside, Maya, the woman continued, her voice now eerily calm. And then you just walked away. Maya felt a cold shiver run down her spine. She didn't want to remember. The memories, the guilt, she had tried so hard to bury it all, but now it was all coming back. You didn't even look back, did you? The ex-boyfriend asked, his voice harsh, as though he were forcing the truth out of her. Maya hesitated, her mind struggling to piece the fragments of memory together. I didn't. But you did, he cut in, his voice sharp. You left her there, and you didn't care. You ran from the wreck, and you left her to die. Her breath caught in her throat as the words hit her like a punch to the gut. No, she whispered. No, that's not true. I didn't. The woman stepped closer to her, her expression no longer one of sadness, but of cold, detached understanding.
"It is true, Maya," she said softly. "You locked the door. You walked away. And you didn't even look back." The man in the doorway stepped forward again, his eyes piercing through Maya. "You thought you could just forget, didn't you? That it would all go away." Maya could feel the walls closing in around her. She couldn't breathe. This was too much. The guilt was suffocating her, and she didn't know how much longer she could hold it together. The ex-boyfriend's voice cut through her spiraling thoughts. "You don't get to escape it anymore. The truth has a way of finding you, Maya. And now it's here." Her mind flashed to the video, the one where she had seen the shadowy figure outside the wreckage, the one who had watched her leave. And then, the figure in the video had moved. Maya's heart skipped a beat. "It was you," she whispered, her voice breaking. "It was you out there, wasn't it?" The man in the doorway didn't answer immediately. He just stared at her. Her ex-boyfriend stepped forward, his voice cold and final. "You left her. And you left me too, Maya. You thought you could just walk away. But the past doesn't forgive. Not like that." A silence fell over the room. Maya felt her legs give out beneath her. She collapsed to the floor, clutching her chest as if trying to stop the pounding in her ears.